everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm finally doing my September TBR video, and I know it's mid-September and you'll probably see this video on like third week of September. I'm sorry, I was really busy, I got behind, so we're only doing it right now. So in September, I was lucky enough to get several books from Penguin Random House for review. I think 3 of them are due on September 18th. I only read 1 so far, so some of those books will be featured on my TBR. I also got sent some books for like October and November, but I don't want to have a very strict TBR for September. First of all, because like I said, I'm kind of filming this later in the month. Plus, I have a very busy month. It's been crazy 2 weeks, and the other 2 weeks are going to be also very crazy. I do not want to stick to a TBR which has like 10 books, but definitely give myself some flexibility to choose from whatever books I have on hand and just read whatever feels right at the moment. So the first book that I was due for review in September was The Keeper of the Bees by Meg Cassell, and that book came out on September 3rd, I think, and I finished it reading just the day before the release. I already have the review on my blog, so I'll provide it down below. I requested The Keeper of the Bees from Entangled Teen for review, thinking that the second book would be better, but unfortunately it was not, and I gave that book only 2.5 stars. I have my full review on my blog. I'm not going to talk more about this book. The problem of this book for me was mainly in the fact that the author portrayed the mental illness as a curse, and I was very much against it. I didn't like some aspects of the book, so I forced myself and I finished it. I did not DNF it, but I was not very impressed by whatever was happening in the book, even though some aspects of it were definitely better than the first one. So please feel free to check out my review down below, but otherwise I'm not gonna say anything else but 2.5 stars. There are already some books that I finished in this month beyond whatever I was supposed to review, but I will talk about them in my September wrap-up. But next, I just want to mention the book that was also sent to me for review, and I already finished it, but I have not reviewed yet, and this is Cans by Razel Reed. So this book was sent to me by Penguin Random House. I requested it for review. It was listed as a young adult / literary fiction, and this is a standalone by the author who was the winner of the Governor General's Award for his debut novel. So that was what attracted me to this book. I mean, and also kind of like this cover, very appealing. So this book is slightly difficult to describe, but it is a satire, young adult satire about cans, essentially. So, you know, like Barbies and cans. So this is about cans, the guys who are so obsessed by their looks, but who is more popular, how many product injections they get, who has better bodies, who has more lovers, etc, etc. So this book took me really by surprise. I knew that it was going to be a satire, but it still took me by surprise. I will talk about it in my review, obviously, because this is just a TBR, but I did enjoy this book way more than I expected. And if you go to Goodreads and you see that this book has less than 3 stars overall, I've never read a book that would have such a low rating. I never read, like, this was the only time that I have ever picked up a book with a rating of like 2.3 stars or something. So I gave this book, as a matter of fact, 4 stars because I really enjoyed it, but it is a very weird read, suffice to say. But I will talk about it in my wrap-up. But if you are into very big social satire and a lot of satire when it comes to social media and our age, definitely check this one out. This book is coming out in stores on September 18th. Another book which is coming out on September 18th, and I already know that I will not be able to finish it by the date because I'm filming this on September 15th, but I want to start it and hopefully finish it sometime later this month. It is Theory by Diane Brandt, and this is a literary fiction novel as well. This is adult fiction, and we have 3 intertwining love stories. I don't really know much more than that. I did kind of read a preview and I thought that the writing was beautiful. This is a fairly short book, and I don't really have much to say about it beyond that, but it's supposed to be about love and relationships, and I'm kind of interested in reading more literary fiction, especially more contemporary fiction. That's why I decided to pick this one up, and Penguin Random House were very kind to send me a copy. Next, I have a copy of Gertrude and Alice, and this is a play by Anna Chatterton and Evelyn Perry, and this play is basically about the lives of Gertrude Stein and Alice B. Toklas. Sorry, I have to look at the back of the book, but I'm so bad with names, I can barely remember my own. So this is the play, which is basically about the life of these two ladies, and it is said in the form of a dialogue on stage, I believe. And I was sent a copy of this play for review by Playwrights Canada Press. As a matter of fact, I was sent it a couple of months ago, I think, but I'm finally going to see it on stage on September 20th, I believe. So I need to read it in the next couple of days to prep for that play. And it is a play, it's a short one, so obviously I will be able to read it before that, but I just never got around to do it, and that's why it's on my September TBR. Next, I have a copy of a middle grade novel by Catherine Arden, and the book is called Small Spaces. It is coming out on September 25th, and this copy was very kindly sent to me by Penguin Random House. And this is a new middle grade novel by Catherine Arden, and she is quite well known for her trilogy, and the first book in her adult fantasy trilogy is called The Bear and the Nightingale. This is the book that was mentioned to me many times by Sam from Sam's Nonsense, and also some other bloggers that I know. They all seem to love that book, and I'm still yet to read it. However, I am invited by Penguin to attend the launch of Small Spaces, so I do want to read, and I kind of have to read this copy before I go and see her. And I think the launch is happening on September 29th or 27th, that weekend, the end of September. So I will be able to see the author and have Q&As with her, which is very exciting. So I do want to read this book by the end of the month to be able to talk about it. And I did request the copy of The Bear and the Nightingale from the library. I'm not sure I will be able to finish it before I go to that event, but at least I will try to start reading it because I'm very excited. So this is a story about a girl by the name of Ollie who sees an old woman prepared to chuck a book into the river, and Ollie grabs the book and carries it home and later reads it, and she is being sucked into the story about two boys and a girl who make a deal with a smiling man, and then some weird creepy stuff is happening, and oh my god, it just seems like such a perfect Halloween read. However, this book is coming out at the end of September. You know what? That's okay. I'll read it now and tell everyone to read it in October because it's coming out at the end of the month. That's about it. That's all I know about this book. I do not even want to read the whole synopsis because, as you know, I prefer to just dive into books without knowing what's happening. But lately, I have been on such a huge middle grade streak. Oh my god, I'm just reading one middle grade after another, which is not very typical for me because I'm more of an adult books person, and even sometimes young adult books are just a bit too childish for me. But right now I'm just loving everything about middle grade, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading this book. Plus, creepy cover, yeah? Very creepy. Next book that I have on my TBR is also a new release of September, and it's coming out also on September 25th, and this is Give the Dark My Love by Beth Revis. So I have never read anything by Beth Revis before, and this is supposed to be a first book in a trilogy. This is YA dark fantasy, and I saw everyone on Instagram, all of my blogger friends read ARC copies of this book, and I was so jealous. I wanted to read this book badly because everyone was saying how they're enjoying it, so I just basically had to suck it up and ask Penguin for a copy, and they were so kind that they sent me a finished copy of this book. I'm so grateful to them for this. It's really incredible that I got to read this book for free, not just an ARC, but a finished copy. I'm hoping to get to this book by the end of the month, but honestly, with everything that I'm reading right now, this may not be at the very top of my TBR, but I'll do make an effort to start it this month because I want to repay Penguin for sending me a finished copy, and definitely I want to write a review of this. I don't really know much about this book except for a main protagonist is sent to a school to learn alchemy, and then some disease breaks out and she has to create a cure for it, I believe. But this is basically all I know, and I'm very into this cover. I like this cover, and I like the idea of alchemy because it's not a very, popular topic in YA fantasy series or books. And I myself have a story that I'm working on which has to do with alchemy, and this book made me really interested in reading it, so I'm looking forward to it. And once again, thank you Penguin so much. Besides the books that I am already currently reading, and I will talk about them at the end of this video, and this pile of books that I would like to read by the end of the month, I also want to start reading more of the books that I actually own. This is one of the problems that I think all of the book bloggers have, because we get so excited by whatever new and shiny books are coming out that we completely neglect whatever we have already on our shelves. And to help me deal with that, I decided to do something fun and create some sort of a scavenger hunt that I'm going to add to every of my TBRs from now on until I either run out of ideas or if I just decide to do it in some other way. But I have an interesting, I have this little cup here, or a mug, and this was actually a gift from my friend from Germany. I just have some rules written here, and essentially what I have inside is a whole bunch of little pieces of paper that I wrote ages ago, because I've been planning to do this for a while. So what I'm gonna do every single month, I'm gonna pick up one paper, or maybe two if I feel like it, and on this piece of paper I have written the number of the shelf, number of the bookcase, number of the shelf, and number of the book. So I will just have to go around and find the book that I wrote down the number for on this piece of paper. I did not want to write down the titles of the books because I may not be in the mood to read something, and here I'm just introducing a bit of a scavenger hunt, so I was just being too lazy, so I wrote a whole bunch of numbers. And I assigned numbers to all the bookcases. For example, this is the first one, the one behind me is the second one, then I have the third one, fourth one, and the fifth one, and I have shelves from the top to the bottom, and I count books from the left to the right. So I'm going to do this for the first time, and let's see what I pull. So this is going to be my choice, and the rules are as follows. If I, by some chance, pull up the book that I have already read, I just choose the one which is on each sides of it. If I pull up the book which is second or third in a series and I have not read the first one, I obviously read the first one. So these are pretty much all of the rules, and it doesn't really matter if I want to read this book or not. I'll just treat it as part of my TBR, and once I finish it, I select another book. So here we go. So this is the piece of paper. Oh my god. And let's see what it says. Okay, so it says bookcase number 1, which is great because it's this one. Shelf number 4 from top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, it's next to me. This is so exciting. Book number 3 from left. Yes, I actually wrote all of that down in my messy handwriting. Here we go. Here you go. So, bookcase 1, shelf 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Third book from the left. Okay, so here's the funny thing. I have books stacked on each other here. You can actually see them. Okay, I'm gonna remove these little critters from here and show you. Yeah, you can actually see. Let me Here we go. You can actually see the shelf where I put this cup, and these are all the books that I have here. Okay, this is hilarious. It says third book from the left, and I don't have any books on the left, so because they're stacked on top of each other. And these are Robin Hobb books that I've been meaning to read for ages. I read only the first one, and I'm yet to read any of this. So, what should I do? Should I select one of these? Because if I go from the top, it would be a 1, 2, 3, and I only read this one, so I need to read this one then. Or I can go from the right, and then it will be the 5th season, which is also one of the books that I really want to read. I'm a bit stuck. So you know what? I think I will choose this one. So it will be not from the left, it will be from the right, because to read Robin Hobb, I'll have to read all 3, and this one, maybe I should start with Robin Hobb. Oh man, I cannot really decide. You know what, it's fine. I'm gonna read Robin Hobb, but I will select this one because I want to reread it, so I'm doing this book instead. Okay, now we're back to the usual angle, more or less. And the first challenge is gonna be Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I have read this book before, but it's been over a year at least, and I'm yet to read the sequels, which I have here. And I've been meaning to read this book for ages. I know that I started kind of on Hobb-along read-along with Sam from Sam's Dundas organized that read-along, I think 2 years ago. Then she started a new last year, and now she's doing it again. So I'm very much behind, but I might as well do my own read-along, read-a-thon thing and just reread this book. I think I will reread it quite fast because I pretty much remember everything that happened, but I just prefer to reread books as opposed to, you know, like just diving into sequels without having everything refreshed in my mind. So yeah, you see, it's working. I'm just so surprised that it just happened to be the shelf on this side and I didn't have to even get up from my seat and walk somewhere. And now into the books that I'm already reading, and the first one would be this one. This is a poetry collection, God of Shadows by Lorna Crozier. I've been reading it for over a month now because I think it came out at the end of July, if I'm not mistaken, and it's taken me a while, but as always with poetry that is very profound and kinda engrosses me in the world building. That happened to me with Stevie Howell, which I absolutely loved, and Lorna Crozier is also a Canadian poet. I'm really enjoying this book, but hopefully I will be able to finish it this month. It just feels weird that it's taken me so long to read such a short book, but as always I prefer to kind of spend my time reading and appreciating poetry. So keeping my fingers crossed that this month it will finally happen. Next book that I'm still reading, and no big surprise, this is Paradise Lost by John Milton. I started it a month ago because I wanted to read it before reading the play by the same name, which is like a modern retelling of Paradise Lost, and that play came out I think on the 3rd or 4th of September officially, and I have a copy of it from Playwrights Canada Press, but I'm yet to read it because I'm very determined to read the original first. I don't know why I decided to challenge myself like that, because reading John Milton is not much fun. Yep, so I'm still suffering through this one, and I have not made much progress, but oh well, maybe at least I will read another part of it this month. So yay. Next, I'm reading another middle grade, and this is The Lotteries +1 by Emma Donoghue. And I am 1/3 into the book and I'm really enjoying it. This is a middle grade contemporary story about a very diverse household, and it's told from the main perspective of one of the kids in this house. So essentially it is a story in which the family has to have one of the remaining grandfather move into with them because he starts to suffer from dementia and he should not be left on his own. And this is how he's trying to fit into their very diverse and very different household. And this guy is very grumpy and also very conservative, and that is very interesting. I cannot wait to see how he gets turned around, because obviously it's middle grade, so there should be somewhat of a happy ending. But I'm really enjoying this book. It's very adorable. The main protagonist is adorable. All those shenanigans and antics that the whole children get into are just absolutely adorable. I'm really enjoying it, but I'm just not reading it too fast because it's kind of like, it's just a middle grade. It's a nice book to read when you want to make yourself feel better. So this is how I would say. And yeah, I really hope I will be able to finish this book by the end of this month, even though I have not made much progress and I'm only 1/3 into it. It's a very easy read. And the last but definitely not least is another audiobook that I'm listening to right now, and this is the Bartimaeus trilogy, book number 1, The Amulet of Summer by Jonathan Stroud, and I'm listening to it as an audiobook from Overdrive. I'm 2.5 hours into it, and the book is about 13.5 hours long, so I would say it's probably about 20% into the book. I'm really enjoying it. So as a matter of fact, I've never read anything by Jonathan Stroud. I did come across his books more than once, but I never read them. Probably you all know what those books are about. These are I think the first trilogy is about a boy by the name of Nathaniel who conjures a demon, a genie, to bid his will, and the story is primarily told at this point from the perspective of the genie himself. His name is Bartimaeus. Oh my god, I cannot pronounce this name. Anyway, so the main part of the book is told from his perspective, but we also get some chapters which are told from the perspective of the boy. And the book is read by the British actor with an absolutely lovely British accent, and I'm enjoying this book so much. I did not even expect that I would be enjoying it a lot, or at this rate. I'm just, if I could, I would just listen to this book and do nothing else because it's so adorable and so good. It's technically a middle grade, but I saw that some people tag it as a young adult book. I don't know whether there is a reason for it or not, but I consider it to be a middle grade. There are also some themes in this book that remind me of Harry Potter, which makes me feel really good about it. And I'm really enjoying it, to the point that once I started the book and I was only half an hour into it, I started looking up physical copies of the book online to purchase because I felt that the audiobook was not going fast enough, and I read way more faster, obviously. So I was like, no, I'll just wait and listen to at least half an audiobook and then decide whether I want to have a physical copy of it or not, because I have an opportunity to listen to it from the library for free, essentially. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this audiobook, and that was a recommendation to me from someone at Penguin Random House, my contact from Penguin Teen, and she suggested that I pick this one up because it's it's one of those magical reads. And I read another book earlier in this month that was also magical middle grade, and she highly recommended this one. And I was like, why not pick it up from the library? And now I'm hooked. So yeah, as you can tell, I have a lot of books on my pile. I have a lot of books to review, and I'm also reading a lot of books at the same time, including some classics and some middle grade books. But this is me. This is what I do. I read like 10 books at the same time, all different genres, different things. As always, I welcome all the comments from all of my subscribers. I'm getting very close to 500 subscribers. It feels incredible. I never thought I would have even 100. And now I'm getting close to 500. I know that it might be a very small number of subscribers to some of the viewers, but I don't care. I cherish all of you, and I welcome all comments from all of you. Please let me know down below what you think about my video. Hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. And as always, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you very soon. Bye! Oops. Okay. Wait. Shh. And I that was just so FOMO. I'm talking so fast because I want to get done with this video as soon as I can because it's taken me ages, as always, to film anything. And try to read. Like I said, 1/3. Hopefully I will finish it by the... Oh my god, I was hoping that I would not sneeze. Now I have to say this whole sentence again. Damn it. Oh my god, I breathed in so much dust. Ugh, it's so hard to talk. My poor throat. Damn it.